Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. September the 16th shapes as a very important night for Arslanbek Makhmudov as he looks to continue his title run, or a run towards a title opportunity I should say, facing Carlos Takam in Montreal. And it's a big night for a couple of reasons. Not only is this one of the toughest opponents for Makhmudov's career to date, currently 14-0, but also this is an opportunity for more visibility for him to show his wares and to fight to a broader audience, because with his recent link up with ESPN and Top Rank, co-promoted by Top Rank now, he is going to be shown to a broader boxing audience. Until now, he has been fighting in Canada, he has been fighting behind a paywall, and a lot of people haven't really seen a lot of him. But now with this new deal, he will be shown to a broader audience, so if he fights well, and if he looks good, gets a decent stoppage, then potentially it's going to increase his profile exponentially. And if he can get a devastating stoppage, well, all the better for a few more views and turning up on social media, on different sporting clips, etc. But in Carlos Takam, he's got a former title challenger who is actually well past his best, but he is still a decent opponent who is seemingly at the back end of his career, trying to clip a few final paydays. Record of 39-6-1, and he is, if not the best opponent, certainly close to it. You can, I guess, make a case that the Jonathan Rice win for Makhmudov has aged well. You've got Marius Vuk, who actually put in a few good rounds against Makhmudov last time out, but ultimately was stopped in about half a dozen rounds. And in Takam, he's got a guy who can be defensively responsible, who is decent on the offensive end, and can actually make it trickier for taller opponents. We saw that against Anthony Joshua, keeping himself relatively small and trying to circle away from the big power punching hands of Joshua. He managed to make it a little bit awkward for Joshua. But obviously that's a few years ago now. 41 years old, but still for Makhmudov, as he climbs his way up, he wants to sort of show his wares. This is a good showcase fight, and it's not without some risk. But I do think Arslanbek Makhmudov is going to go in here, and he's just going to try to put the hurt on. And in some respects, I think we actually have seen this fight before. And what I mean by that is Joe Joyce fought Carlos Takam not so long ago, a year or so ago. And actually, Joyce, who is generally regarded as a little bit slow, can be a little bit plodding and hittable, Carlos Takam was not shy about trying to let his hands go and try to hurt Joyce. We may see something similar here. But I do think there is a bit more danger with this opponent in Makhmudov, because he's just a real hard-hitting lump. If he ends up on the end of one of those right uppercuts from Makhmudov or right hands from Makhmudov, it could certainly end the night. And I do think Carlos Takam will be trying to circle away from those favoured punches, that right arm of Makhmudov, and trying to stay out of trouble. And he will come with some ambition too. I don't think he's just going to be on the run and not looking for any work. I do think he is going to test Makhmudov, as Marius Vuk did. Vuk had a couple of good rounds there, and Makhmudov had to, I wouldn't say it was adversity, but it was one of the few times where he had a guy who was standing in front of him who wasn't afraid to trade with him, and because Vuk was a taller guy, he was able to use his jab, land some right hands, and just make it awkward for him. And obviously a different style matchup here, much shorter man who can box, he can move, he can throw in some big looping overhand rights as he did against Joyce. And we may see Makhmudov wear a few of those. And I think one of the things that people will say, well, I'm saying it before the fight, and I'm sure some people will say it afterwards, is that Makhmudov, he is limited to an extent, but he is a very exciting fighter. He's must-watch TV. And I don't know how far he can go, because I do think he does have some limitations, but it's going to be a fun ride while it lasts. And I don't think it's going to end here against Takam, but I do think it's some higher point against guys that are about the same height, who can also crack, who can also box and move a bit. he's going to be on the end of some very tough style matchups as he progresses. But this is a good showcase fight. I think it's good matchmaking. Carlos Takam is one of the better opponents, if not best opponent, Makhmudov has faced. And let's face it, in the past couple of years, Makhmudov has been looking for bigger names and really hasn't until recently been able to get anything sort of meaningful. The Mariusz Vuk fight was a step in the right direction. He got something out of it. He got some decent rounds, and I think he will get some rounds here as well. But I do expect that he is going to win this one. He's going to catch Takam eventually, but it may take some rounds. I'm not expecting this one to be over in inside 2 or 3 rounds. I think this feels like 5 to 7 rounds potentially. I think it'll be a little bit similar to the Vuk fight, that there will be pockets of resistance from Takam, who will be having success. Like that Joyce fight, he'll be landing on Makhmudov, and people will be saying Makhmudov has got bad defense. But his defense is his offense, much like Joe Joyce, and he will be looking to absolutely decapitate Carlos Takam. We'll see if he can do it early. I'm not expecting it to be in the first few rounds, but hey, you never know with a guy like Makhmudov. But it's an important fight, a big night for Makhmudov, and he's got to go in there, look good, and get a good stoppage to help build a little bit more momentum for his career. He'd become a big fish in a small pond fighting out of Canada by way of Russia, but obviously now with a bit more eyeballs through the top-ranked link-up, the sky could be the limit. But he's got to perform, he's got to look good, and obviously, as we know, a good stoppage can sometimes paper over the cracks of other limitations that a fighter can have. But it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. How about you? Drop a comment loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.